Joining us right now is Tennessee Congressman and House Appropriations Committee member Chuck Fleischmann. Good to see you, sir. Thanks very much for joining us. What's your take in terms of the latest at the border right now? Can the troops start going home in your view, or do you still have a border problem?
There is a border problem, and that's why we really need to fund the wall, and that's why the president is right. That's why the House Appropriations Committee was correct in voting to fund the wall, fully fund the wall. Unfortunately, the Democrats, on one hand, have had their rhetoric where they say they want the wall and want border security, and then they change their mind. I think the president is right. I think they're trying to make it about him, and we just can't let that happen.
Well, I mean, Nancy Pelosi just said we have bipartisan support, and it's just the president standing in the way. Is that just a talking point? Is that just, wanting to fight and not get anything done? So because it's not in step with what you just said.
Well, when you look at the rhetoric that we have seen, they say they want border security, and they repeat it whether it's Pelosi or Schumer, and then their actions don't match up with that. Let's face it. $5 billion is not a lot of money for wall funding. This is a position that is very reasonable. The American people want it. The wall is being built. We've had some funds committed towards that, but we have got to keep America safe. I don't know why they're doing this now, why they're choosing to pick this fight right now, but it's a fight that the American people don't deserve. The American people deserve border security. They want the wall. The wall needs to be built. Well,
maybe they just don't want President Trump to have any victories. I mean, we know all of these investigations that they're gearing up to do in the next 2 years. As you gear up for the next Congress and the House Appropriations Committee, and it will be making history, what are you going to do in terms of ensuring that you get things done and it's just not a lot of bluster?
Well, it's another excellent question. As you know, my past history as an appropriator in the majority has been very successful. The House Appropriations Committee has gotten its bills done. We're moving towards what we call regular order, doing the people's work. Clearly, it's going to be more challenging in the minority. The Republicans control the Senate, the Democrats will control the House, and that includes the Appropriations Committee. So I think what we're going to have to do is get down to work, make sure that we fund the government, keep these key programs going, and doing the people's work. Will it be challenging? Sure it will. Now, one thing that is a little bit different, as an appropriator, as opposed to someone, and what I mean for our listeners, someone who is involved in the discretionary spending of the government, whether that's defense, whether that's the wall, Homeland Security, there is usually a little bit more of a comedy between the parties on that, as opposed to the authorizers. So hopefully we'll be able to get the work done. The key will be, will the Democrats set the tone for a fight against the president early? I hope not. Yeah. Or will they say, let's get down and continue the work that the House has done in the 115th Congress, which I think has been exemplary.
So what are the odds of a government shutdown 1 week from today?
Well, this is very atypical. 75% of the government has already been funded. So defense, I don't think we need to scare the American people. Defense, energy and water, a lot of those bills have already been funded. Right. The 25% that is out there is, sure, there's a potential for that. Let's hope that we can avert a government shutdown, especially right here at Christmas time. The economy's doing well. The country is upbeat. So I'm going to continue to be the optimist and hope that the Democrats back away from this dangerous rhetoric, back away from this dangerous position. Candidly, I think it's an untenable position right now.
Meanwhile, let's talk a bit about the Appropriations Committee, because as I just mentioned, it's about to make history. 2 women are poised to lead the committee for the first time next year. You've got New York Congresswoman Nita Lowey. Nita Lowey will assume the chairmanship when Democrats take over the House. Texas Congressman Kay Granger will serve as the panel's top Republican. So you currently serve in the committee. How significant is this for Congress and the U.S. in your view?
Well, I think it's important that we continue on both sides of the aisle to promote women and women in leadership. I know both ladies. Congressman Lowey is from New York. We've had many conversations. I have actually a good working relationship with her. In addition to Kay Granger, who will be our ranking member, the top Republican on the committee, another outstanding lady. They will work well together, I think. In addition to that, we're going to see more subcommittee chairmen who are women on appropriations. Energy and water, in which is so important to my district in Oak Ridge and to our Chickamauga Lock in Chattanooga. Marcy Kaptur, the longest-serving woman in Congress, will chair that committee. So hopefully we'll be able to reach some common ground and make sure that we fund the government and do the right things. But it's all going to depend on what the Democrats do when they take over the House. Will they let the president lead and do his job? I think he's doing an outstanding job. Or will they attack him? If they attack, we'll have gridlock. If they work with him, we'll have progress.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to work with him, Congressman, frankly speaking. I mean, they wouldn't even look in his eyes the other day when they were in the meeting in the Oval Office. And by the way, do the Republicans have a problem with women? I mean, when you look at the new Congress right now, you've got many more women elected on the Democrat side versus the Republican side. And there's this speculation that you and your party have real issues with suburban women, college-educated women. What are you going to do about it?
We're going to continue to promote women. Look at Marsha Blackburn, who was served in the House with me. She won a great victory in Tennessee. She's going to serve. We have more women moving into leadership in the United States Senate. So some of those losses have been women acceding to better and stronger positions. And we have many women in the cabinet. So I think what we need to do is stick with our strong Republican agenda. We want a strong economy. We want to make sure that we fix health care in a way that all Americans can benefit. But yes, I think we need to continue to message to women and continue to make sure that women have an opportunity, whether it's creating a business, whether it's in the workplace. And let me give Congress credit. In the House, we voted to make sure that no person, no man, no woman will ever be subject to sexual harassment again. We're seeing progress, but there's always progress to be made.
Real quick on trade, Congressman, do you see an end to any of this in the first quarter or in the new Congress? The USMCA is now being debated. A lot of Democrats say they're not going to sign it. They're not going to vote for it, rather, as is. So there could be some changes coming there. And then there's the open question of China.
Absolutely. Trade is work in progress, and it will be for quite some time. It looks like China just bought some soybeans yesterday. That's a step in the right direction. But let's face it, the issue with trade with China is about intellectual property. It's larger than just trade. But when you look at Europe, the EU, when you look at Canada, Mexico, this is going to take some time. It took us a long time to get into this trade war, get into this trade mess, get into this trade deficit. It's not going to change overnight. But give the president credit. He has made tremendous strides. I've been a long supporter of the president. I was overwhelmed by the success he's had in the trade realm so far. And I'm fundamentally a free trader. My state, Tennessee, has benefited overwhelmingly from free trade. But he's getting these people to the table, and let's hope someday we have a world, the optimist in me says, where there's no tariffs, no trade barriers, and we can have truly free trade, and America will win.
Well, the president said that's what he's looking for. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure, Maria.
Congressman Chuck Fleischmann joining us there.